I know I kind of look like shit right now, right? But there's a reason for that. I spent the last like hour and a half, 2 hours watching this anime that I've been meaning to get to for like a cool couple years, but I just never been able to like find out where to watch it. So, as you guys know, I think about a year or two ago, Crunchyroll did a merger with what was it again? With Funimation, that's what it was. So Funimation and Crunchyroll did a merger. So any anime that was in Funimation is now moved to Crunchyroll. Now, you're probably wondering where I'm going with this. So the anime that I was watching, that I've been meaning to watch for a very long time, was Inuyashiki. And if you guys don't know just by the name, you guys may know exactly what clip I'm going to reference. So there's been a popular clip from that show that literally, I mean, like every anime fan, like anybody who watches anime may have or like definitely have seen this because I saw this back in like I think high school or like a year after I graduated high school, and I was like, I need to watch this. So in the clip I'm going to reference, I can't really show because it's a lot of violence, but it's essentially a high schooler walks into like this house. He points his hand like this, right? Ooh. And he says bang. And he kills a person. Uh and you might have seen another one where he's like like that stuff. Like if you guys don't know, that's what it is. So I'm not gonna lie. The reason why I decided to watch it was because I've been watching a lot of like romances and comedies and romance comedies because I that's what I like. That's what I like. Don't get me wrong, I like me some shonen, all right, but I like my romance comedies, all right, and I got to the point where I was like, all right, the last like 8 animes I've watched were romance comedies in some sort of way. I mean, like Masamune Kun's Revenge. I watched Horimiya. I was watching a lot. All right, so I was like, yo, I need something more action based. I need to see some violence. Like I need that. You know how you get a craving for like chocolate sometimes. Like that's me, but I needed shonen or some type of action or some type of killing. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm gonna watch Inuyashiki because I've been wanting to watch it for a long time. So I did. By the way, just for context, spoilers. Uh, there's gonna be a lot of terms that I'm gonna be using that might not be suitable for a young audience. All right. Uh, I will be cursing. All right. But there are sensitive topics, so please, like, if you guys don't want to hear about certain things, like, click off now or forever hold your peace. Um, but to start off, I mean, first episode, nothing really happened, right? We're watching this character. Oh yeah, I should probably say that the only people that we should worry about is the old guy and the high schooler, right? Those are the two characters that we focus on in this story. So we start off the show with the old guy. His name is Inuyashiki. That's his like last name. So we follow him. We follow his like little story that he has in the beginning, and it starts off pretty sad. Like his kids don't respect him. It's not. It's like they don't really care about him because he's older. I guess he had his kids late in his life, and he has cancer. And he said in the show they say that he has a month to live. So he's not really in the best state. So he goes out for a walk. He finds a dog and stuff like that. It's kind of like a companion to cope with what he's going through. And he takes a walk in the park. So I forgot what exactly happened, but he was standing in a spot, like in an open field at the park. And right before something happens, we see the high schooler from the famous clips. And then all of a sudden, we just pan to the sky. It's nothing. Then all of a sudden, an alien spaceship crashes. So that's where our story begins. Essentially, they die. They died there. And in the dialogue, they have the aliens speak where they're saying how they need to repair their bodies. I guess to like hide of what happened. So they repair the high schooler in the old guy's body. Now, they don't just repair it to be normal again. They are essentially machines now. And it just so happens that they are quote unquote killing machines. They are assault units from the aliens technology, because they said that all they had were like kind of like infantry or like assault kind of units. You got to watch it, but that's where our story begins, and that's how they get their abilities. So first episode is like kind of introducing everything, so it's kind of slow. But then here comes the second episode, and this is where things get really crazy. So the high schooler is showing off to his friend. His friend is going to be an important part, right? So he's showing off his powers to his friend. And it's, it's small things like, changing TV to show something else on the screen when they go to the store. Making cars like move in different directions that they don't really want to, or like is intended for them. And then they go to a certain part where he leaves his friend's house and he stands in the middle of the road. And what he does is this. I'm going to demonstrate it for you. I hope I don't get tangled. So, you know what? Let me take this off. I'm going to show you. He essentially spins in a circle, uncovers his eyes, and then he's like, that's the house I'm going to go into. So I'm like, what is he about to do? So he goes into this house, walks inside, and the first person he sees, he says, I'm home. So the lady turns around, and she's like, who are you? Why are you in my house? So then he proceeds to do this. Bang. And kills her. Then he walks over her body and proceeds to just dump a mag into her. Like I'm saying like 8 shots into her. Then he walks into the bathroom where the father and the son are showering or like bathing or whatever. Now, I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect like to show like they weren't showing any private parts or anything, but it's like he walks in there and he basically threatens them. He threatens the father to say something. And after, a couple lines of dialogue, he pops a shot at the father. He doesn't like hit him, but he hits the wall behind him. And the father is like, please, whatever you do, let my son live. And the high schooler, he says, no, I'm going to kill him too. So he kills the dad while the dad is trying to shield his son away from the high schooler. And the way the scene worked was they were in a bathtub filled with water. And he was hunched over his son like this. So when he killed the father's body weighed on top of the child. I mean, this child had to be like 4 years old or something. Like, it was really small. It hunched over the son's body and weighed on top of it. And the child drowned. Like, they showed the child struggling in the water. I'm not going to lie. It was a really hard scene to watch. That's why I'm saying, like, but with the disclaimer, like, there is like mature scenes in this show. Like it's to the point where I think 21 and up has to watch this. Like I don't even think an 18-year-old or up, like between 21, I don't even think they can watch this and like feel comfortable while watching it, because even me, almost turning 23, like I felt uncomfortable watching that scene. It was very vulgar. Not vulgar, but like it was very violent and like just no filter type of deal. And it honestly, it got worse from that point. Like, not even just that scene, because that was really bad. But we got to a scene where the high schooler got found out by the police department that it was him doing all the murdering. So they raid the house that he was staying at because he couldn't stay at his own house anymore. So somebody was harboring him. They literally go inside of his house, shoot everybody, and try and shoot him. So he leaves, right? He goes back to the police station later on and kills everybody at the police station. Then, when he walks out, there's literally special forces right outside unloading into him. He kills everybody. He kills the special forces. He kills the newscasters. Everything. There was even a scene where he found out his mother committed suicide. Like I'm saying, there's sensitive subjects here, so please, if you do not feel comfortable, leave. He found out his mother committed suicide, and the news stations and stuff like that, they went to his father's house because they're separated. He pulled up to his father's house and just mag dumped everybody there. I'm telling you, every scene that I'm describing right now, they showed everything. Like, there was trust me, like 70% of my screen was red while I was watching this, like just from the blood that he was like taking out of their bodies, basically, with shooting them. We did get to a scene though in the end of the show where the old guy and the high schooler fought. They fought each other because they eventually, saw each other and stuff. When they fought, the old guy won. He ripped off his arms, ripped off a piece of his fucking head. It was insane. We got to a point where a meteor was going to crash into the planet and basically destroy Earth. And the high schooler actually came and basically sacrificed himself to help Earth survive. And I guess that was supposed to be some kind of like redemption for him. I'm going to be so honest. Like, that does not wipe away anything that he did. Like, bro is a villain. And, like, it was a good show. I'm gonna leave it there because I don't want to spoil it too much. But it's definitely a good show, but definitely intended for a mature audience. I highly suggest that you prepare yourself to watch it. And I do suggest that you be 21 and older because it is definitely intended for a mature audience. Like, there are some, references to raping and drugging women, and also an adult scene where a guy literally walks into a sauna and makes a guy suck his dick. That's also another mature, like, thing that happens. And the only reason why I say that it should be 21 and not 18 is because I'm doing it based off of my personal, like, life. When I was 18 and I was watching like animes that people would die in, I would just laugh because I guess that's how I would cope with an uncomfortable situation. I guess it's like a nervous tick or something. But now, like, I was watching all of this happen and I was just sitting there in awe. Like, I really felt for these people, especially the scene where the kid drowned. Like, I got a 4-year-old brother, or is he 4? Listen, I got a brother who's around the same age, all right? So it kind of hit me a little more compared to, like, other scenes. So that's why I kind of, like, if you're mentally prepared to watch this, prepare yourself more. That's what I'm trying to say. But realistically, like, it really was a good show. Definitely going to go back to romance animes after this because I definitely need a de-stressor. I definitely need to see something more wholesome after that. But honestly, that's all I got to say. It was a really good show. Yeah, what a roller coaster. But anyways, you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your principal about me. Tell them to subscribe also. And that's about it. That's all I got. Bye.